Good morning and welcome to Morning Java from PNC Park. Java is now brought to you by the Get Go Cafe and Market for a limited time only. Try the smokestack pulled pork sandwich and sub.
Slow smoke for 16 hours?
Slow smoke for 16 hours, the man
Sounds
says.
good.
Let's talk a little bit about baseball because, we're here. The Pirates' starting rotation is up and then it's down and then it's here and then it's there. Is it good enough, Lance, to contend?
I don't think it is. You don't have a top-of-the-rotation starter, and you just look across the National League. The true contenders have guys. They don't have just the one guy. They have multiple guys. And, okay, the Pirates could have that. Jameson Taillon.
He stepped forward on Sunday. He looked a little bit better. Ivan Nova, you still don't know what you're getting now. He's got the finger issue.
You don't know about Joe Musgrove either. I mean, the one start is one start.
One start. Chad Kuhl, you don't know about from inning to inning.
Yes, true. And Trevor Williams, not as good in May, but I think he's probably the most consistent guy, you could argue, which is kind of a scary thought.
Yeah, but let me throw this concept at you, and you wrote about this a little bit the other day for the site. Do you dare, you know what I'm going to ask, do you dare put Glasnow in?
No way.
Why?
I would put Nick Kingham in the rotation before I would put Tyler Glasnow.
Why?
Because Kingham's proven that he can actually, get people out as a starting pitcher.
Yeah, for more than an inning at a time.
Yes, and Glasnow just can't do it. And why mess with something that's actually working? They found a role for Glasnow, and there's value in that role. So why disrupt whatever it is?
He's a bridge guy, yeah.
A bridge guy. You need a long reliever. It's so important in Major League Baseball right now, and why not stick with that? Because he's only throwing 2 pitches. You can't succeed as a starter with 2 pitches.
To me, this team won't be a contender unless the starting pitching is addressed. I don't believe that those solutions are internal. I believe you've got to go to the outside. I don't believe it has to be an ace.
Would you keep playing Gregory Polance? Despite the struggles, and this has happened, it's not like this is anything new, and he's always found a way to sort of get out of it, but you have Austin Meadows there, who continues to hit.
Yeah, you do. I'm of the feeling, and this is not popular, that Polanco is going to come out of it. I know. Nobody wants to hear that.
They don't.
However, Polanco's peripheral numbers, which nobody else wants to hear either, his on-base percentage, his slugging percentage have been really good.
Leads the team in home runs and walks. That's real.
He actually is, and I went and dug into this in terms of OPS. He's in the top dozen right fielders in all of Major League Baseball from an offensive standpoint. Does he drive you nuts? Yes. Is Austin Meadows hitting out of this solar system right now? Of course he is, but that's not going to hold up unless he's going to get a, first ballot Hall of Fame induction by some point next year.
What I would do is I would ride this way with Meadows. I'd sit Polanco for a couple of games. Give him some time to figure out whatever is ailed him. Plus, the Cubs are going to have a few lefty starters here, and they've got some lefties in the bullpen. And eventually, Meadows is going to slow down, and he's going to kind of play his way out of the starting lineup.
What about the other two, Lance?
How can you take Dickerson or Snowden?
No. Not what I'm saying. Don't you think that they're due to slow down at least a little bit?
They will. Dickerson's been
308, 310 for a while.
Dickerson's been a hot starter throughout his career, and he always slows down. So that time will come too. And plus, he's never played more than 105 games in the outfield. That's real. And he's on pace for 140. That can't be sustained. And Marte's oblique injury is something you have to consider. And I don't know if he'll keep up this pace.
I think there are at-bats to go around. I'll say this, and not just because I wrote a column pushing for this beforehand. I like the idea of Meadows staying here. I do think that there are going to be enough at-bats. I commend the Pirates for keeping him here. I'm sure there's every temptation to send him back.
Exactly, especially the AAA at-bat numbers and what he did there. But production AAA doesn't matter. It's can you help them win Major League games?
Yeah.
And he's doing his best to do that.
Yeah, I think that there's going to be a solution for this. Ultimately, the best way to find that out for right now is to have all 4 of those guys here.
Jordy Mercer's in the last year of his contract. And a lot of readers have asked me, are the Pirates going to trade him? Will they sign him to an extension because there's not that one guy in AAA who kind of stands out? I don't think they're going to keep him beyond this season. I think that's when, and we spoke about this, people are going to realize how valuable he's been to this franchise since he came on.
It's a conversation you and I had in the Pirates clubhouse after Jordy walked past, and I said something nice about him, and he just kind of laughed, and I said, that's just so Jordy. I believe that he is the most underappreciated player on any of the 3 major league teams in Pittsburgh by Pittsburghers. You don't know what you have at shortstop until you don't have one. he makes the plays.
He makes every. I guess you want to say.
Other than the one, which I know is going to stick in people's heads with a double play that they had to cost him the game last week, but he's so reliable, so dependable, and even offensively, he struggles. You know how that goes. First 6-7 weeks, he has his Adam LaRoche time, and then he starts hitting again.
And hitting in the 8th spot, which is not easy. I mean, it's hard to really be productive in the National League hitting in front of that pitcher, but nobody does it better than him. And there's value to that because you can turn the lineup over. You got men on base for your number 1, 2, and sometimes 3 and 4 hitters because Jordy, again, finds a way to get on base. Not consistently at times, but you compare him to the other shortstops in the National League, and you'd be hard-pressed to find more than 7 that are better than him, in my opinion.
Yeah, but what about the shortstops that are coming up? I know you like...
Well, Kevin Kramer could be good, but he's still striking out way too much. He just started at AAA this year. Kevin Newman's hitting more, which is promising. Former first-round pick. They got to find out what he has at some point. He's a better defender. But again, there's not that guy that I think is going to come up and replace Jordy Mercer. It's going to take them time and maybe development of one of those two guys. And a stopgap. And I don't know what that looks like, but there's no
probably
way.
Sean Rodriguez, everybody said.
There's no way they should get rid of Jordy Mercer at any point in 2018.
Stadium behind us right now is empty, and no, there's not a game going on for you cynics, but the attendance is obviously way down. I've written a lot about how that's set up almost entirely by your season ticket sales and your group sales, and that of course happens in the off season. But what have you seen, Lance, on a day-to-day basis from the enthusiasm of the involvement of the people who've been here?
I think that's fine. I think the people who are coming are involved and they're sticking around. You don't see them leaving until most of the time the ninth inning. I mean, and when I leave the ballpark on especially Thursday, Friday nights and go home to write, there's a ton of traffic, and it's because of the baseball stadium. I think that it will get better. School's still going on. But this team's got to win. I mean, this lull they've had the last couple of weeks isn't going to help because everybody knows that ticket sales aren't an immediate effect. It's 2 weeks from now.
It's a lag effect, right?
It takes time for that to really show up. And if this team's not consistently winning and they're giving away games like they did on Sunday, that's not going to be good.
One thing that I have found interesting is that, athletes will always tell you, especially at the major league levels of any sport, they don't pay attention to the crowd, they don't whatever. They notice. And these guys, while they're not even in the solar system of criticizing fans, they understand what happened this offseason, they get it. But at the same time, they also say, that San Francisco series, that was more fun, when everyone came out for Kutch.
It's always stood out to me because talking to guys after games in Milwaukee, they always talk about a big crowd in the stands today, and that really has an effect. Wrigley Field, that happened there. I mean, these guys like playing in front of fans, and no, they don't blame the fans here. They understand it, but that it does have an effect as much as they don't like to talk about it all the time.
Yeah, and it's probably not going to change anytime soon. I really don't see. First of all, you don't sell season tickets in the middle of the season, so that's not going to change. Group sales are hard to sell as well, and like Lance was just saying, that winning that they had done through the weak part of the early part of the schedule, somehow that's got to get sustained.